Hi, welcome to Oxford News This Week, and Happy New Year. I'm Terry Stiles, and we have Jim back.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you. I'm Jim Hughes, and yes, on this edition of Oxford News This Week, a local business says goodbye. 2 school staffers do retire, and the DDA looks for a brand new director.
All that and more. The Oxford News begins right now. If you're wondering about the pothole under the bridge on M24, MDOT says it's the result of a contractor accidentally paving over a mud flap that fell off their truck. And before you say, way to go, contractor, apparently this is not an unusual circumstance as one may think. According to construction engineer Brian Travis, he said this happens from time to time, and a temporary cold patch has been put in place until winter is over and the hole itself can be permanently repaired. In addition, MDOT says when weather allows, reflective markers will be sprayed with reflective markings to give better night visibility on 24. And watch out for those center medians in town. Jim?
Once again, the Downtown Development Authority board is looking for a new director after choosing not to renew the current director, Glenn Pape. The contract there in the December 21st meeting, the board voted unanimously to give Pape 30 days notice, which will end this 3-year post on January 20th. While Pape has had health issues throughout the summer, board president Nicole Ellsworth states the director is on contract and at will contract with no necessary reason for termination due to discuss at this time. In addition to the board seeking applications for the new director, they are looking for a business owner within the district to fill an open seat on the very board, the DDA. Contact them if you think you might be available. Terry?
After nearly 2 decades downtown, Dora Rolando of Great Lakes Mercantile is planning to close up shop. Rolando, who lost her husband and co-owner in 2018, says she thinks it's the right thing to do while her health is still good so she can enjoy herself with her daughter. After purchasing their building in 1992, the couple restored the 1900 structure and opened the store in 2002. If you ever spoke with either Ron or Dora, they both related how they took pride in selling only Michigan-made merchandise and spent many years traveling the state, researching and obtaining items for the store. While Dora said they didn't make their fortune in the store, it was a lot of fun, and wishes to thank everyone who supported the shop over the years. You truly will be missed, Dora.
Yeah, definitely great store. I always used to check that out. Congratulations going out to the Oakland County Commissioner and Oxford resident Mike Spiz on his re-election to the post as representative to a 4 township and 3 villages at the county level. Spiz also continues to serve as the member of the Oxford Township Planning Commission. Thank you and SIR and for your continued dedication to this community as well as others. Terry?
If you're searching for a way to dispose of your real Christmas tree, and you can help your community by dropping him off at Seymour Lake Township Park. The drop-off site is located in the southeast corner of the tennis court parking lot. Trees will be collected through the end of January. Make sure they're cleared of all artificial materials, i.e. tinsel, wire, or plastic. Only real trees, please, and they will be chipped and used for mulch throughout the park. Jim?
Neighbors in the Drainer Road area, Red Barn sub area, are warning neighbors to keep an eye on their cars as someone has been going from house to house, rifling through the vehicles parked in the driveways. If you see any suspicious activity in that area, please call the Oxford-Oakland County Sheriff right away.
So this is a story that's a little close to my heart because I love this lady. January 5th, 2021 has been recognized by the Oxford School District as Marilyn Benner Day. Why, you ask? because Marilyn Benner deserves it. A lifelong Oxford resident, and in fact, she still lives in the house that she was raised in, and 43-year school employee, Marilyn is turning in her keys to the job she has dedicated herself to since 1972. Originally, in order to have time at home with her own children, Marilyn started with the district as a noon aide at the Washington Street High School in 1972. She then moved over to assist teachers at the Oxford Middle School, and then as a secretary at Daniel Axford and Lakeville Elementary. In 2003, she moved to the high school as a part-time secretary. In addition to being a community influence in the schools, Marilyn and her husband Tom, who passed 6 years ago, have volunteered to be representatives on the village boards and councils throughout their many years in the community. Full disclosure, Marilyn is a dearly loved friend and deserves that day and much, much more. Much love and appreciation to you, Marilyn, and say hi to Alan. Jim?
Well, after 38 years of service in public education, Assistant Superintendent of Student Services of the Oxford Schools, Denise Sweat, is retiring at the end of the month. During her time at Oxford, she designed and implemented programs focusing on inclusion, servicing students, including developing the Lake Orion Oxford Kids First program for special needs children ages 3 and under. Her current role, she provides leadership to more than 100 special education staff and nearly 700 students throughout the district. Thank you for your work you've done, and good luck in your new retirement. Terry?
If you're looking for ways to keep your kids busy during this unusual time at home, check out the Oxford Library Traveling Exhibition of the Michigan in Civil War exhibit. The exhibit is on loan from the Detroit Historical Society from January 11th, today, to February 28th. It features 10 kiosks of different themes in the Michigan's role in the war. Over 60 artifacts and photos of the extraordinary lives which helped shape the history of the United States. In addition to the exhibit, according to Head Adult Services Laura Fromwiller, the library is also has an extensive program schedule. For more information, visit the web or call at 248-628-3034. 248-628-3034. Jim?
Well, I think that's it for us, right?
Well, I think it is. So that's that's it for Oxford News this week. A big thank you to C.J. Carnacchio from the Township for his stories in the Oxford Leader newspaper. I'm Terry Stiles.
And I'm Jim Hughes. A few thank yous, and also we'd like to make mention of somebody that passed right before the holidays.
Yeah.
But we want to thank Connie prior to us going
She
on a
didn't
Christmas.
pass before the
Well, no, she's still with us. No, I'm saying we had a Christmas party here.
Yeah.
She made all the food.
Yes, she did.
And gave every one of us like little presents. And I told her when I got back on the broadcast, I was going to show my little microphone there. My little
That's right.
microphone.
Isn't
okay.
that adorable?
But it was great food. It was great fellowship,
Yeah.
and I tell you, it was like
Yeah.
in a time when there probably wasn't a lot of get-together. We kept it socially distant.
Yeah.
And we just want to thank Connie, who works here all the time. She does her
Yeah,
timing.
she's behind the scenes.
Yeah.
She puts all the
Yeah.
programming on the air that you see on Spectrum.
Oh, yeah,
Channel
and it's on
191,
time, and it's
18.
good. Hard job, as I always said, but
That is not
thanks,
an easy
thanks,
job.
Connie, for the little token.
And thanks to Dan. behind
Dan's
the
voice
camera.
behind there, he's filling in. We got a full staff here. People actually,
waving.
some people are actually, he's waving. Hi, Dan, how are you? People are actually moving on to doing things too from the TV
yeah,
station.
let's talk about that for a minute.
Okay, now what's going
So
on?
we have
We've had a lot of
Alexis
people.
Ware,
Okay.
who, she works here a couple days a week.
Still.
Everybody's seen her. She's
Yeah.
out and about all the time. But she also got hired at WDIV Channel 4, and she's an assistant producer down there. So
That's
if you're
good
watching
stuff.
the 5 a.m. and 6 a.m., she's writing those stories.
That's very cool.
I'm proud of
And
her.
still maintaining a connection here.
That's right.
And we have another guy.
Dave Siseski.
Did sports-
he
if
did
you
our
do sports here, you get good luck here.
That's right. That's right.
Think of it.
He ended up at a television station in Marquette.
Right.
Started yesterday, I think, or today. And he is the news director there.
Good.
Bravo. So
Yeah.
we're doing good as far as education is concerned.
And
here
when we
at
take one way
OCTV.
back, what was the name of the
We have
other?
another one that was
From a long time
sports
ago.
here, Andy Curtis, and
Yeah.
he's from Oxford as well.
Yeah.
He went on to Helena is that Wyoming? Helena,
Yeah.
Wyoming?
Or Montana, maybe.
Television, Montana.
Yeah, I don't know. It's out there. He
Wyoming,
went out there,
I don't-
okay?
Television
Yeah.
station. He's a major, what's the capital of the state, whatever it is.
Butte,
He's
I
been
don't
at
know.
that major market station for about 4 years now. And then we have one camera guy in Europe. What's
Yeah,
his name? I don't
well, he
remember
actually
his name.
he came back to, and he purchased a house in Lake Orion where, but he was working at Channel 7. He was a cameraman. He did
Oh,
World
that's right.
Soccer. I'm slipping his, we'll mention him next week because we'll
Yeah,
figure
right,
out,
his
yeah.
name. And then also, Dave Custer is that
Channel-
his name?
yeah,
Dave
yeah, he's on-
Custer?
yeah, on Channel
He worked
5.
with us as well, and he's at Channel 5 in Flint and has been there. I went downtown Flint and saw this great big poster of him.
He worked for us.
On the side of the building.
So,
yeah.
you know, bottom, I guess the reason
did a
why
good
we're running down memory lane here on this one is that this TV station does a little bit more than just bring you broadcast, which is a great thing in itself.
Yeah.
But it also it sends people to other endeavors.
We're helping people create their career by them doing all the hands-on stuff that
you
they
do hands-on here, too.
Oh, lots of hands-on stuff, whether they like it or not.
And one final mention, this again happened
Yeah.
prior to the holidays, and if you are broadcasting, and this is whether you're in front of the camera, behind the camera, or whether you're on radio, the school was Specs Howard, which we have used a lot of people from there.
Lots of us.
One of their mainstays, Mr. Dick Kernan, passed over the holiday, and as I say, it was just, I mean, all the people that he has dealt with, you
Yeah.
know, back from the early 70s till now.
Yeah, he was on the very first public access, public television board
Okay,
created. That was in Southfield, I believe, in 1986.
right.
So he helped create public access television, and so we want to dedicate this newscast to Dick Kernan. He's had a big influence on our lives,
Yeah.
yours, mine.
We were talking to
I've
Dan.
been there.
Dan says, "I remember
Dan
him."
had him
Yeah.
as an instructor.
So-
Dave Siseski had him as an instructor.
My son who went there a few years ago,
He had him
actually.
as an
So as I
instructor.
say, if you
of
went
our
to Specs
better
Howard,
professors.
or even were in broadcasting of any sort,
Yeah.
Dick Kernan probably had something, and we dedicate the newscast here to you, Mr. Kernan. Rest in peace, and of course, your family too. So our trip down memory lane, and
was
Terry,
fun.
it's always good to see you.
Yeah, I'm glad you're back.
I'm glad I'm
It's
back.
nice to have you back.
I'll see you next week.
We'll see everybody next week.
Be
Take care.
safe, everyone.
Welcome to Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and this story is taken from Automotive News. Jeep's Grand Cherokee will offer a third-row option by mid-year, broadening the SUV's reach into the competitive segment. The three-row model, which was revealed January 7th, will be known as the Grand Cherokee L. Jeep said production will start this quarter and that the vehicles will begin reaching dealerships in the second quarter. By adding optional third-row seating, a necessity for many families, Jeep's top seller is expected to shake up the large crossover market dominated by the Ford Explorer, Toyota Highlander, Chevrolet Traverse, and Volkswagen Atlas, and newer entries such as the Hyundai Palisade and Kia Telluride. The large utility segment shrank 0.6% last year, but still generated U.S. sales of just over $1 million. A redesigned two-row Grand Cherokee and 4xe electrified version are scheduled to be launched later this year, Jeep said. The automaker has previously said the smaller version would arrive in the third quarter. The Grand Cherokee nameplate launched nearly 30 years ago, and with cumulative global sales of nearly $7 million, has become a profitable cornerstone of Jeep's lineup. The Grand Cherokee L is built on an all-new architecture with independent front and rear suspensions. The redefined interior was designed to create spaciousness, the automaker said, and the center stack houses a 10.1-inch screen to operate a new Uconnect 5 infotainment system. Dave Kelleher, chairman of Fiat Chrysler Automobiles Dealer Council, said he's had consumers turn away from the Grand Cherokee over the years because of the lack of a third row. He expects that to change when the Grand Cherokee L rolls out. There's a market out there that just doesn't want to drive a Dodge any way you look at it, but will drive a Jeep, Kelleher told Automotive News. They don't want to pull up to the prep school to pick up their kid in line with a Dodge. But they would do it in a Grand Cherokee, no doubt. The interior will have ambient lighting with 5 color options and FCA First to cast an inviting glow along the entire instrument panel as well as the front rear doors. The lighting feature is standard on the Overland and Summit models. The Grand Cherokee L will come standard with an all-aluminum 3.6-liter Pentastar V6 engine, which is rated at 290 horsepower and 257 pounds-feet of torque. Jeep said the body structure uses stronger, more advanced steel to improve durability. The 2021 Jeep Grand Cherokee L Summit Reserve features a standard 10-inch display screens, including frameless digital gauge cluster and 10.1-inch Uconnect 5 touchscreen radio, hand-wrapped quilted leather, wood accents, all new LED lighting with ambient features, driver and front passenger seat massage, and personalized climate controls. The roomier Grand Cherokee is part of a larger product offensive that will help diversify the Jeep brand's portfolio in 2021 after FCA closes a merger with France's PSA Group, forming a larger automaker called Stellantis. FCA CEO Mike Manley said last year that the new 3-row SUV would enter a white space that offers the potential for a very strong margin. Until this week, the company hadn't revealed whether it would be part of the Grand Cherokee lineup or separate nameplate. Well, that's it for this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and we'll be right back. Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and this story is taken from New Scientist. An estimated 200 million people a year contract malaria, and the disease killed nearly 400,000 people in 2018 alone. Now we are a small step closer to understanding why it is so hard to stop. The main parasite that causes the disease has developed a strategy for hiding undetected in the bloodstream of carriers. Malaria is caused by 5 species of the parasite Plasmodium, the deadliest being Plasmodium falciparum. The parasite infects human red blood cells and replicates inside them, leading to symptoms including fever and muscle aches. Most cases of malaria occur during the rainy season, which in some parts of West Africa occurs between July and December. It makes good adaptive sense for P. falciparum to replicate during these months because the mosquitoes that can spread the disease from person to person are abundant. What hasn't been clear is how the parasite responds during the nearly 6-month-long dry season when mosquitoes are rare. Sylvia Portugal at Heidelberg University in Germany and her colleagues have discovered that P. falciparum alters its gene expression in a way that helps it survive undetected in the human bloodstream, ready to flare up again when the rains return. Portugal and her colleagues followed 600 people in Mali. During the 2017 and 2018 rainy seasons, they recorded 386 and 347 respective diagnosed cases of malaria with fever. In the dry seasons, only 12 cases with fever were diagnosed in 2017 and 5 cases in 2018. What the parasite has found here is a kind of sweet spot, says Portugal. During the dry season, it remains at levels so low as to rarely cause any disease symptoms or elicit a response from the person's immune system. To work out how the parasite does this, the researchers sampled and analyzed P. falciparum collected from carriers during both the rainy and dry season. During the rainy season, the parasites produced a molecule that makes red blood cells more likely to stick to blood vessels. This makes the parasite-containing cells less likely to travel to the spleen, which is essentially a blood filter in which damaged and diseased red blood cells are removed. In the dry season, however, the parasites no longer produced the molecules, which meant that infected blood cells didn't seem to stick to the walls of blood vessels as much. As a result, most infected cells did travel to the spleen where they were broken down. This kept the parasite population at a low level that doesn't cause disease or trigger an immune response. In order to achieve anything close to malaria elimination, it won't be enough to target people getting sick, says Portugal. If we could clear these reservoirs during the dry season and reduce the amount of parasites that we have when mosquitoes return, it could be an intervention, and that would be good. Well, that's it for Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny.